Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I think um I are we on part 18 or 19? We are on part 19. Okay, we're almost at our 20th. I guess we are at our 20th stream. Um it's just one of them was me playing Wuthering Waves. And I don't know if you want to count that. So we'll say we're still on 19th stream and we'll celebrate our 20th stream next time. How about that? Um, Now, I still didn't get my YouTube chat working. Oh, hold on. For some reason, it has me in a different account. Alright, well, whatever. Um, Let me see if I can add the YouTube chat as a thing and just like shove it in the corner. Uh, so we're gonna do that for now, and we'll just know that the YouTube audience is second rate. Yeah, it says I am live. Oh, it is unlisted. Why does it keep doing that? There we go. All right, now I should be live on YouTube too. Thanks, Abby. Okay, back to the actual work. So last time we were working with line graphs, just trying to plot things over time, as a line graph does. And we did pretty well, I think. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I feel like it's good enough to leave for now until we get a little bit further. What I would like to do is just have the demo code also construct, a couple days worth of info so that, we don't have to keep creating stuff every time. So if we go here, remove this, remove this, remove that. Wait for the Dart analyzer to catch up with me. It always takes a second for some reason. I also spelled instance wrong. Okay. And let's do a for loop, and we'll say we'll get 4 days worth of data. And each of these we will add. Okay. And we'll just multiply the IDs. I think that should work, maybe. And we'll also want to get the date, time, date. And we'll want to do a copy with, day, oh, and this has to be 1 or else nothing will happen. Okay, now I expect if I reload, cool, we get about 3 days worth of data. Man, these animations look really strange. Why are they like that? Can that be fixed? This is really weird looking. We can at least do like an ease in, ease out. I don't think our curve actually took here, but curves. We'll try that ease in, ease out again. I had it below a positional, above a positional variable, so that doesn't quite work. Yeah, why does it like want to start all the way up here first? That's the thing I don't get. It's just a weird starting location. Anyway, I guess we'll just leave it zippy. And I want a clear all button. I think that would be good. Async, nope, async text button. Clear all. And let's make this red, or rather, danger. Okay. That is certainly not, red. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, and the overlay color. Um, should always get a certain amount of opacity. I don't know what that should be off the top of my head. We'll try 100. Let's decrease that to 75. Yeah, I think that's better. Maybe even 64. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. And I think that's a better density as well. Okay. So let's go through all of the widgets, select the nutrients. And set them all to false. And we'll even call set state for ourselves. There, now there's at least a quick way to remove everything. And on the left-hand side, maybe we'll add that show targets. Show targets button? Although I said I couldn't really think of a reason why you wouldn't want it to show targets. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I really want to complete this screen. It's clearly not finished. Right now I don't really have a good idea. So until I do, I guess we should just leave it alone. Let's add some spacing up top here. Add some width. Okay. And some padding on the sides. Then I think I'm good to leave it. And just for the purposes of testing, I actually... No, that won't work. I wanted to make it a little bit variable of the quantity, so it's just not a flat line. But that doesn't look like it's really gonna work out. Other than just randomly dropping one of the meal instance stuff. How about random how do you do a random yeah, this isn't a thing though. So I'm a little confused. How does random work in Dart? I never use it. Flutter, random int. Okay, so it says that should work. Ah, I wasn't importing it from the correct place. And we'll just flip back and forth between not having any meals or having meals. Oh, meal instances. There we go. Okay. That's a bit better. Okay. So this we can remove. Do we start working on like exercises? Are we ready? Kind of feels like we are. How should we handle that? There are only 1 billion exercises. I seem to not have a very good plan on what I want to do today. um, why is this async text button different from the one up top? Do we have a on long press? Yes, we do. Okay. Datetime, date, wait, show date picker. And I suppose we'll really have any date they want. You can plan out for the next 3,000 years, we'll say. I think that would be pretty good. Gives people a good buffer for them to use the app. And then they can pick a date and jump back and forth. Okay. What else should we do? I guess we never made create meals. That's the like very last thing we have to do here. Did we even hook this up? No. Okay, so there's a couple of things we can still do today. So let's go to meal history, which should be this page. And whoa, what is up with this? Load overlay. Oh, gotcha. This is really ugly. So let's actually rip this out. And just put it in a method. Build food creation overlay. Okay, now we can work with this part a little bit better. Yeah, that looks way neater. Okay. And I guess we'll make the meal creation page. I think we could probably leverage a lot of what we did for the food creation. So let's do meal creation. And we'll just start like that. Okay. And now we gotta change all the wording, so we're gonna create a meal. We will keep the name of the meal. We won't be scanning any barcodes this time. At least not up here. And we'll do a new meal instead. With no foods. How about that? Yeah. Okay. And let's head over to food creation all the way down here and rename it to something you would never expect. And we don't care about the brand because that doesn't make any sense. Neither does serving size. And honestly, we can get rid of all this stuff too. Actually, let's not quite go that far yet. So we'll kill this. What's the problem? Of meal. Yep, okay. Sorry, my bad. Meal. So we'll put nutrition facts. Let's make another widget. We'll do, what is this? Nutrition creation? Ah, gotcha. Okay. We'll call it stateful meal summary. Final meal, and then we'll pass in the meal. We'll do meal summary. And let's do create meal, and honestly on the food creation one that should have said create food. Okay. And I want the summary to basically be a bunch of these pie charts almost. So let's see how we can best I guess we'll really need to make this over. We can reuse a lot of it. But this is specifically kind of broken down for meal slots. And that doesn't quite work over here. So I want to actually rename these to reflect that a little bit better. Okay, so we should be able to make a flex E. We'll just do axis horizontal. I think we need to, we'll see if we need to provide it with a maximum height, but I don't think so right now. So we'll do macro dot values. And for each of these, we will make a nice little pie chart. I guess a pie chart doesn't make any sense, actually, for a meal. Why would you want a pie chart? It's not out of anything. I guess you just want a running total, actually, so we don't want a pie chart. I'm mistaken. Very silly today. That could be a part of the meal. I didn't get to take my nap today, so I apologize. And I stayed up pretty late. The new Wuthering Waves patch just dropped, and so I stayed up a little bit too late to finish that. It was pretty decent. It's pretty decent. So I think this can just be a column. And we'll do adaptive icon with the icon. Actually, we can very simply just do this and call it a day. And then grab the color. And then make them real big. And we'll give it a tooltip so that when you at least hover over it, you can know what it is. Okay. And then we'll grab our meal. With our foods. And maybe we can do this outside. And we'll do a map of macros and their values. So macro values. So for food and foods. Oh, excuse me. You see, I'm starting to yawn. I needed to take that nap. Also, quick question. I notice sometimes on my OBS volume levels, the volume seems to spike pretty high into the like yellows. Is it ever like a little bit piercing? There might be a way to put like an equalizer. Only when I make loud noises. Yeah, probably. Coughing and such. Maybe there's a way to add an equalizer? There's gotta be, right? Let's do this. OBS volume cap. As primary audio, as far as I understand. Well, I'm not particularly sure where to add these. I am not seeing a button for filters. Oh, here we go. Add a filter. I suppose it's a limiter. And we'll say I can no longer go above negative 20 decibels. So I'm going to shout into my mic, you know, and you'll just let me know if it's really loud. So, how is that? Look pretty good. It was bad. It was too loud. But it looked okay. My quality is a lot worse now. So this is like all I got here. What if I do this? Does it sound a little bit better this way? With this as low as possible? No. Well, I added some noise suppression that won't really cap anything, but it'll just kind of be nice. Um, what about a compressor? Okay, if I just remove this, will I sound a little bit better to you? I can't hear myself, so you kind of just gotta let me know. I'm surprised it was so loud. Oh, um, well, it seems my internet has gone out. Um, okay. So my internet went down. We're having a storm right now and it took out my internet. So we're gonna just stream to Twitch for now. Because I don't want to have to keep restarting literally everything. So we'll just call it there. And we'll get everything back up and running. Um, okay. Not the server. Health app. Open. Whoops. Okay, let's get the music back up in here. We'll change it to Fendrana Drifts. Okay. So this, I might get knocked out, again. Worst comes to worst, I'll probably, like, stitch the recordings together so that the VOD is kind of comprehensible. Sorry, I had to sneeze. And then I knocked into my microphone. Okay. I closed like literally everything because I didn't know how long it was going to take to come back. Came back in like a minute, so should have just left it all open, but c'est la vie. My bitrate's like pretty bad, it looks like, on Twitch, so it doesn't seem like yeah, I think it's a good move to only stream Twitch right now. Alrighty. Anyway, back to the meal creation page. Let's grab a list of macro IDs, which should be well, I guess they'll have to stay as nutrients. And we'll do this. Macro values, entries. Not even sure why this is here. And we'll get the macro from nutrient, get macro. Okay. So if I go to the nutrition controller, I'm pretty sure that there's a macro ID map. Yep. So we'll turn that to a list. And this is going to be macro IDs. And we can do nutrition per serving. Entries. Nutrient entry or nutrition entry. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Just grab this stuff. Song's a bit much right now. There we go. So I guess... Sorry, I'm just thinking of like what's the best way to handle this stuff at the end of the day. So let's do macro values. Int macro ID. Let's do that. Let's replace this with macro ID. Okay. We'll change this to value. it would be cool if I could create an extension for a map that lets me sort of flip it inside out. So I'm going to do that. So collections, map list extension. Okay, and then we'll just map flip extension. Just call it flip. And it will return a map of V and K. And let's hard code those. Okay, and now we should have flip. Pretty cool. Okay. And then finally, load. Can add this. And we should do a thing like that. Because before the map wasn't being populated with anything. There we go. And we'll also want the unit. How do we... I guess we need the actual nutrient value. And then string unit nutrient default unit. Okay. So one final thing is we can grab this row, pull it out, put it in here, reapply our color scheme that I got rid of, add a little bit of spacing. Um, and we could probably just get rid of all of this. Let's actually bring this back a little bit. And rename it to foods. I thought I skipped this song. I did, but it came back. Not ready for it right now. Foods. And hmm. I guess we can add an async text button. And it will be add food. I guess it's an async elevated button. And I kind of want some rounding here. That looks really ugly. I guess we can add... Not really. Is there a nice place to just like add a border? Yes. So side. Um, will it just let me add border side directly? Probably not. Oh, it will. Lovely. Oh, nope, it lied to me. Okay. And we'll do widget border side. Okay. And for this, actually, I would like it to be called just border. Border side. It's too lengthy. Border. Even if it is a border side, we'll do that. This is kind of ugly. How should we... How did we do it for foods, right? Add nutrient. Okay, we just kind of put it there. But that doesn't work anymore given we have it separated. Hmm. Also, the text here should just be larger. There. Why is this bold? Let me go back and make that bigger over here as well. Okay. Why is there this T here? I'm not sure why I was declaring it as like there's a generic that we're using. We're not using any generics for this. So we'll do a hot restart, go over here, create a meal. Okay, and then we'll do a in a meal, do I have a way of explaining how many of a food there is? No. So you can't have a meal where it's you say that you always have like 2 servings of French fries with your burger. Okay. I guess I could just add that. Double food servings. And this dot food servings. We'll do it that way. Maybe we'll even do it food and we'll call that food servings. Then if food servings is not null, we can do this. Okay. Okay. And we'll do food value. And we'll also want servings. Oh, sorry, servings, which is a double. Song's kind of loud. It's a good song though. There we go. And then we could multiply food value. And now we have the ability to specify food servings. I guess. And let's go back to meal instance. It's a little bit getting a little messy here. If we're specifying per food servings in the meal, then the meal instance has to reflect that, but the meal instance also has food instances which can have their own stuff. I'm not 100% convinced anymore that meal instance even needs to keep track of food instances. I mean, it kind of does. Yeah, I don't know if we need this anymore. Is there a value to it? Um, um, I, it looks like I said no. I feel like a meal instance should be able to create its own food instances on demand. Yeah. This is gonna cause some refactoring problems, I just know it. Um, okay. So, the list of food instances. Okay, food instances. Our meal has foods. So let's do for food and meal foods. Um, we'll also grab the serving size, food servings. Serving. And then we'll create one. It's just recommending me all sorts of methods that don't exist. I hope someday it will stop doing that. And we'll be able to get it that smart. And then servings is multiplied by this. And then we can return that. So let's convert this into a map then, because that's faster. Yeah. And it looks like I actually, for once, have to run this command, but I kind of would prefer it to just... I got half a mind to just kind of delete these for the moment. They're really not important. Just full on delete that. I guess I need the table converter maps. And we'll just set these to empty. That way we can keep working without it yelling at me all the time. There we go. And when we're content, we can go back. Alright, let's reload everything. Alright, that wasn't so bad, actually. Seems we're alright. Okay. So we'll do a list view builder. A very classic divider. Okay. And now we'll need a oh, is this because it doesn't have a size? Yeah. Or null check on a null value. Um, meal creation 29. You are incorrect. I don't think I applied shrink wrap. That's probably it. No? What the hell did I do? It was just working before. What's going on? I didn't really change anything. All of this looks normal. Also, we don't need a form, but that certainly wasn't the problem. What? That was the problem? That there was a form? You're lying. You gotta be joking. Why would that have mattered? Even a little bit, why would that have mattered? The form doesn't need sizing. It doesn't work that way. Alright, whatever. Um... Let's just test out if we had like 100 foods. Do we have good spacing? Nope. Okay. So I think this probably needs to be wrapped in a flexible. No. Flexible? Nope. Okay, it now hates it again, despite nothing being changed. It knows that this is expanded, right? Yeah, it does. Why would that ever be a problem? I've done this like 1,000 times. Why is this giving me trouble? Is it something with the underscroll? Is shrink wrap set to true? No. Um, a little bit dumbfounded here. Why is it angry? It's just a column. Um, Apparently we've been off my playlist for a while. Oh, today's a bit frustrating. At least there's pretty much no one here, so they don't have to see me suffer. Hopefully everyone is out enjoying their Friday afternoon, evenings. I assume this doesn't need to be expanded, because that wouldn't make any sense, but I'll do it anyway. Yep, alright. So if I remove this, for some reason it still doesn't, like, realize that it's fine. It's so weird. I'm just gonna reboot the whole app. This doesn't make any sense. Okay. And then once again, if I expand it, everything breaks. Won't tell me why. Okay. The documentation gave me a recommendation. Okay, and if I add back in this, will it explode? Yeah, pretty much. Um, Can't even scroll it really at all. Um, well, I guess at the end of the day, this is never going to scroll. So, what? That should solve all my problems. Every single one ever. If I'm nice and lucky. Okay, getting somewhere. And then this can be wrapped and expanded. Okay, still getting places, question mark. Flexible. Okay, there we go. And then if I pull this back, it should all... Alright, that didn't work. Where's all the space coming from? Okay, let's grab the widget inspector. Is it because this is set to max? If I set it to not that, will that work? I thought you could now edit them in here. I guess not. Let's try that. There we go. And I forgot to deactivate this. There we go. Whew. And just to be safe again, let's try and do that like 100 thing again. Alright, cool. Alright. Now we need an add food dialog. I just want to double check. I didn't make it so that you could layer meals, right? Where you could have a meal and a meal. No. Cool. Good, good, good. Alright. So, we'll now need the add food dialog. So, let's do find food dialog. How about that? Material. It should have been food selection. And so should the sibling. Nice. Okay. And we'll do this. Let's make a helper method for add food. And we'll not bother with getting a serving. Create method, add food. And if servings doesn't equal null, then we'll do food servings. Perfect. And we'll rip out the ID. It's a little bit unnecessary. Okay. So we'll want to do that, and we'll also want to rebuild meal summary. We will do meals summary key, current state, dot rebuild, key, summary key. Does this not have a state? There we go. And this is void callback, very nice. This is required. And if meal foods is empty, return. We'll do it disabled. Meal foods is empty. And we'll rename this to whatever. Okay, we'll go rebuild. Let's make it an expression. Okay. This lovely little loading thing doesn't really fit very well, does it? I add a fitted box around it, will it look nicer? Fit height. Contain. I guess scale down is adequate. I guess I can add some padding. Let's bring it back over here. Nope. Let's try this. Nope. Alright, it's fine. You can leave it for now. It's not important. You won't even be able to see it when we're in the actual thing, so... Let's grab an intuitive dialogue. With a select food. And in meal history, we have a really nice little search bar, so let's grab that. And we'll even do icons. There's sort, yeah. Okay. This should match. And this should be way bigger. And we'll even bold it. Okay. And we'll put this in an underscroll, actually. Call that the header. Then the child will be a sliver list builder separated. There we go. Item count. Food style length. Yeah. And we'll return a placeholder for now. And we'll tell it to do a direct sliver injection. And we'll grab a list of foods. Foods. And our nutrition controller already has a big list of foods. And for now, we can just do a name. Sorting. Very simple. And we'll turn off the scrollable portion here. And that's really big now. Why? If I shrink wrap? There we go. Okay. We'll add a little bit of padding. Make it look all nice. We will grab the normal margin that we would have here. Margin, edge insets 0. I meant padding, didn't I? Whoops. And this is now spacing. And this can get some nice padding too. And we'll also add a little bit of top padding while we're at it. So then this is now left, this is now right, this is now top. Okay, and did we lose, like, where's our border radius here? This looks really sharp to me. Is it that we need a clip here? Yep. So let's do anti-alias. Cool, that looks pretty all right. And now we can move on to the selection. Well, first we'll just grab the food. Um, way too long. Way too big, rather. Doesn't need to be bold. And we'll enable tooltip clip. And we'll add that little macro display, basic macro display, from food. Nutrition per serving. Okay. And now we have a choice. We should probably make it so that it is optional between being able to select more than one or not. There, okay. So let's do a set of selected foods. And this will obviously now be a list of foods. You would think a set, but no. Okay. And back to food selection. If widget is multi-select, then it will be one of our themed checkboxes. Otherwise, it will be a radio. Let's do this. Okay. And then I guess it's no longer a direct sliver injection, and this can be a list view. With a minimum and a shrink wrap. Okay. And then we'll add an async elevated button. And we'll do add selected food. Um, let's actually have a better idea. Add selected food text. Add selected string. There you go. Go all the way back up here. Add selected foods. Nope, that's not what I want. It's pretty terrible. Add selected food. But if selected foods is empty, then I don't want it to be anything. Otherwise, we do that. So add 2 selected foods. And unfortunately, it looks like I still need to call setState. So this actually does have to be nested in this case. And this needs to be rebuilt. Okay. And we'll add a little bit of spacing. Okay, add a little bit of spacing, and then we'll return. Well, first it's disabled if this is empty. Otherwise, we'll return it as a list. Okay, so theoretically, if I do all this again, and you know what, let's just quickly make sure that the non-multi-selection works. Why is it so pale? Here. It's pretty ugly. And I don't think I needed to really declare that. So active color, is that the one that does it? Yeah. So let's go back to our main. And in here, we do radio theme. And it's active color. You only have fill color? That's pretty strange to me. Why wouldn't you have active color? Flutter radio theme, active color. Yeah, I got that part. Actually, let me try it. It might be right. Okay, back to here, back to there. Yeah, that works. Okay. Um, Back to our meal creation. We wanted this to remain as multi-select. True. Sweet. And then we can take this almost exactly as it is. And we'll grab the food. And we'll make it mirror this way. It's calorie axis, right? Axis, horizontal. And then this was wrapped in a column and expanded. Does that make sense? And I want this shoved to the start. And back in meal history, we have our fancy schmancy serving size selectors. Let's actually just make this a whole thing. Servings selector. And actually, I think we should put this in an inputs folder. Okay. And under meal creation, we'll add that back in. Grab the food. Widget, meal, food servings. Food. 1. Sorry, what? Oh. There we go. And okay, and our meal summary. Should have been closer to this. Cool. The only thing that's probably worth doing is this could maybe use a little bit more padding, but we can do that in the separator. So we can do height and add that. Um, let's do 15%. How's that look at Envy? Bit cramped. This button? There are a lot of buttons. Yeah, okay. Sure. Um, line, alignment, center right. I do think that does look a little bit better. I have one more idea. Um, oh wait, we did need a form. Whoops. My bad. Um, or moth? What happened? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Alright, now that's working again. Um. Oh yeah, so my idea. First, I think this should just be out onto here. Um, so let's do that. Okay. And then we'll do something a little crazy. Um, do exit, pass through, expand, boost. It seems that alignment forced it to take up everything. But we can get around that with a row. And then making it go in the center. Okay. And then we can wrap this in a container. Yeah, that was right the first time. Decoration, box decoration, border. And border radius of, we'll say 15. We'll add a little bit of padding. And a tiny bit of margin. A little bit more margin. You know what, it should really just be half the height of this. And this is at 1.2. Then we'll wrap this in a container itself with a color of background. And we'll give it a little bit of padding. Not vertically though. And now we have that. And I think we could probably silence this. And now it's not that cramped. Oh, hi, mister. My cat's here. Do you think that looks better than the way I had it before, or no? We may still need to change the add foods button to someplace else, but he is hungry. But what do you think about this? Okay. I kind of don't like this right aligned anymore. Now that it's in this box. Do you feel like you still like it that way or nah? Okay, fair, fair. Um, uh, this doesn't need to be here. Okay. Okay. How's that now? Okay. Um, Look, that's fair, that's fair. That's fair. Um, well, I can't think of a good way to make it not cramped right now, so just gonna keep moving on. Yeah, exactly. I think we're at time anyway. If we add up where we were um, before the Wi-Fi cut out, because it's telling me it's an hour and 30 minutes, but I think let me just test that one more time, make sure that worked. Test 1, 2, 3. Add some foods. Add in the meal. Okay. Looks good to me. And next time I say we hook up maybe somebody's like the search bar. Yeah. I'm sure he's on a rampage somewhere. So let's call it there. So we'll add it as, whoa, git add commit meal creation. Honestly, that was a pretty good amount of work. A certain someone I know, it would have taken them like a month to make that. So just that screen. So we'll call it there. And we did a whole bunch of things. So I'm just gonna make this a commit method of this is part 19. Okay, that does it. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back Sunday. Hopefully, there's no more storms, and we could stream on both platforms with no problems. Alrighty. Thank you, and have a good night.